We may be months away from the November election, but interest in the New York City mayor's race is heating up this summer. To talk more about the biggest headlines and the latest polling numbers, we welcome J.C. Polanco, assistant professor at the University of Mount St. Vincent. Good to see you, J.C. Thanks so much for talking with us today. We appreciate it. Let's talk about the latest ranked choice results. Zohran Mamdani, already the definitive Democratic winner, got another feather in his cap this week. He officially earned the most votes of any candidate in primary history. So give us your reaction to that, and how do you think that translates to the November election?
Well, a couple of things. This is only the second time we've had ranked choice voting. So if you recall, all of the votes tally, and they add up in a big pool at the very end. So yes, Assemblyman Mamdani had the most votes in history, but that's because we have a very different election where your votes for someone else counts for you as the later rounds go out. So asterisk to that little figure in the history books. Having said that, he's a juggernaut. Look, we have never seen anything like this before. 25% of all new voters at the Democratic primary were new voters. Many credit the Assemblyman's campaign for bringing in these new young voters into the rolls to vote for him. He had 100,000 workers out there, volunteers that hit the streets, and he was seen as a happy warrior. It's the same kind of energy that we're still seeing now on social media. As we talk to people in the streets, as the press is covering him, he's a juggernaut. He has social media covered, he has excitement covered, and it's almost like a perfect storm for all of the other folks in New York City, because Democratic elected officials have to line up behind their candidate. We saw it with the Brooklyn chairwoman. We saw it with the Manhattan Democrats and powerful Chairman Keith Wright lined up. And then when you question about the Jewish issue, it's always been an issue for Assemblyman Mamdani, not condemning the term worldwide intifada, some of his past statements on Israel, BDS, for example, things that concern a lot of people in New York City, considering that we have the highest number of Jews outside of Israel. It seems as nothing is resonating. And Congressman Nadler, the chair of the Jewish caucus in Congress, is now supporting the Assemblyman. And now you have future controller Mark Levine, current Manhattan Borough president, also supporting him. And the latest, many of the business journals across New York are reporting that business leaders, major CEOs, have recognized that it is likely that the Assemblyman, considering the divided opposition, is going to win in November, that they're now ready to meet with him and talk about their concerns. So it's almost as if everyone is falling in line, and the opposition hasn't figured it out, Mary. There is no way to defeat Assemblyman Mamdani with 5 other candidates running in opposition.
And he's been talked about across the country. President Trump, known for speaking his mind. Here's what he had to say recently about the Democratic nominee.
It's a disaster. He's leading. He's got the Democrat nomination because that shows you where the Democrats have gone. I'll say it again. We're not going to have... If a communist gets elected to run New York, it can never be the same, but we have tremendous power at the White House to run places when we have to.
How might comments like these from the president influence voter behavior, do you think?
Kiss of death, terrible. If you're in the opposition of a Democratic socialist becoming mayor of New York City, every time the president makes comments like this, comments about deporting him, comments about his looks, it just emboldens Assemblyman Mamdani and his campaign, because for every one of those comments, he gains about another 100 independent voters. So if the president does not want to see a socialist become mayor of New York City, exit stage left right about now. You're doing no one any services.
And looking ahead, with Andrew Cuomo seeming to hold his ground against Eric Adams, any thoughts on how that matchup might shake out and how that might influence the election, or what might we see in the next few weeks?
Mary, that's a great question. If you take a look at the recent polls, and we're going to see a lot of them, Mary, you're going to see them, they continue to show that Assemblyman Mamdani, although a juggernaut, exciting, and everyone is lining up behind him, has a cap, and that's around 36% as of right now. Meaning that if the opposition were to unite, in theory, that there's a chance that an opponent can defeat Assemblyman Mamdani on the issues, which is what's concerning, whether it's the socialist agenda, what rent freezes would mean for housing supply in New York. I mean, all of the issues that are concerning a lot of New Yorkers. The problem is that they're strongly divided, and it appears that none of them is about to drop out of this race. So it's almost a fait accompli. It's almost like it's over. It's almost like Assemblyman Mamdani should just be measuring the drapes, unless the 5 candidates that are currently running realize that this is just an impossibility to run on your own as an independent. Look, Mary, real quick, the last time we had an independent mayor was Mayor Bloomberg. Mayor Bloomberg was, in fact, a Republican, left the party, became an independent, and ran for re-election as an incumbent mayor. He realized that even with an unlimited amount of resources, including $300 million, that it would be an impossibility to run without a major party line. So as an independent, having left the Republican Party, asked the Republicans to support his campaign so that he can get that line. And he was able to win re-election. Consider that. And now you're telling me that you have 5 different candidates running on all these lines that are going to stop a juggernaut like Assemblyman Mamdani and seeing people lined up? I just think it's an impossibility. And it's time that somebody that knows math starts talking to them, because the math ain't mathing, Barry.
Well, it's so good to talk to you, J.C. Polanco, as always. Thanks so much for giving us your thoughts this morning.